come to the circle just to be quiet and peace. When I'm just quiet, when I'm just touching the quiet, I am as my own presence, compassion, peace. All the qualities that are the circle. And there's an exchange between this physical circle and my physical body as we are both this sort of quiet presence. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about today was how about when you can't be quiet? Which for some people is all the time. How about when you can't be that peace and compassion? First of all, to yourself, it seems. And I mean sometimes when it's literally, physically impossible. Times when you're perhaps sick or in such pain or so emotionally disturbed that you can't be quiet, you can't be present for yourself. One thing that's very typical of this times is the mind. It's constantly thinking. And usually if you're not able to do what you think you should be doing and need to do, it beats up on you. It tells you you're not worth anything. You're weak. All those things that we do to ourselves before anybody else does. And during these times, it's so hard to do what we've learned, what we've read about, what we've seen, and we wonder, I can't do that. And so we place another sense of failure on ourselves. There's one thing you can always do, no matter how bad it gets. There's always a little bit of possibility of choosing what you're going to believe in terms of your own thoughts. You can't stop the thinking. But you can choose not to believe what that thinking is suggesting to you. And it can be a whole physical feeling, too, that generates those thoughts. These things can have a biochemical foundation in your body. So it's not necessarily your fault. It's not necessarily the way you're perceiving reality and then it disturbs you. It's not in your control. You can't control it. But you can choose. And as that choice of believing that even though you can't feel that I am this presence of peace and compassion, you can choose not to believe the opposing thoughts, the opposing forces. And in that choice, you're touching. You are being that presence. You're touching that quiet of yourself that is peace, that is compassion. And in doing so, you're confirming, you're choosing again to believe above all else that you are this ground of peace no matter what's moving. That's what you are. Even though it doesn't feel like it, even though your mind convinces you of otherwise, just by not believing it. letting it just, or catching yourself doing it. Breathe, come back. I choose again, I choose again, I choose again to believe that I am the ground of peace. It doesn't matter if you keep slipping back. Don't beat up on yourself. Choose to be loving kindness to what just can't seem to do it. This is compassion and peace for yourself. We all want to give that peace and compassion to the world, but to give it, you must be it. And you can always, even if it seems like you're not or can't, just with the thought of, I believe I am this and I will not believe these thoughts. Even if it's a tenth of a second of quiet that you are, it's still that much. Honor yourself for that much, and don't think about how much you aren't. Honor yourself. Honor yourself. Loving kindness to yourself.